Welcome to the ILO TBS Roundtable on fair recruitment, and this is a very important issue for Bangladesh as well as for other countries. And that's because we every year we send about 6 to 7 lakh people, which is a huge number abroad for foreign employment, and they bring in say about 20 billion plus dollars in remittance. And if you compare it with other our other sources of the foreign earning, say the ready-made garments, they earn say about $35 billion, and which has only on an average say 30 to 35% value addition, which means manpower export from Bangladesh has the largest traction on our foreign earnings, I should say. But have we done enough for them for fair recruitment? We have seen the plight of our women workers abroad, and they had been abused, and at one stage we had to stop sending them. We have seen our workers languishing in the Malaysian forest without food, without basic things, and they were simply being enslaved there. But on the other hand, we also have some bright examples, say the G2G manpower export, human resource export, sorry for the term, scheme. And we have seen that a lot of domestic workers are going to countries like Hong Kong, and they're doing pretty well there. We have brought in a lot of laws to regulate the sector, but still have we done enough for them? One thing is for sure, that because of our demographic situation, the demographic dividend, our manpower export will continue for quite some time, because no other countries are growing like us. All other European and other countries are growing, have growing population. So this is a sector which will keep on bringing in, raking in a lot of foreign currency for us, and we should pay a lot of attention to this sector, so that our people, when they go, they get fair recruitment, they are fairly treated, and when they come back, we really redress. If somebody is mistreated, we really redress the thing. And there are, this sector, as I feel, is highly fragmented. There are a lot of stakeholders here, starting from the recruiting agencies to the employers to the people who are going. So what we see is actually when our people, they are not being treated fairly, the onus falls on them. But it shouldn't be like that. Even the employees, have you ever taken action against the employees? Have you taken action for mistreatment of our women in Saudi Arabia or in Malaysia? So these are the issues that we should discuss today, and we have a very distinguished panel.
From the ILO side, there is an explanation on fair recruitment, what is meant by that, based on certain ILO standards and ILO principles. But one of the main aspects for all of us to keep in mind is that, especially for Bangladesh, the cost of migration, and the concept note also talks about it. And perhaps some of the things will be also discussed by Mr. Anna Raihan. And Bangladesh is considered to be one of the countries which has the highest migration cost. Some of us already know the reasons, but the purpose of today's meeting is something that the term that has been used in the 8th five-year plan also, the paradigm shift. So it's a challenge. Is it really possible? How is it possible? And very recently, some of us were looking at the migration cost, the official cost that was fixed by the government. That was in 2017. The migration sector itself is so dynamic that, different, because of the pandemic, some of you already know that airfares have gone up for several countries, including where migrants are going mostly, say in the Middle East. And that's even in the last 2 years. So a cost fixed in 2017 may not be applicable now. And we have colleagues from the recruiting agencies also. When this cost was fixed, I remember that there was huge discussion that is it a realistic cost? And if you Google, you'll see that in the last couple of months, there have been news reports also. There was a meeting in November at the Ministry of Expatriate Welfare and Overseas Employment to refix or revisit these costs. And some of the representatives here have been quoted. that this is unrealistic, whatever the costs are being discussed. So that's one part of fair recruitment. And of course, the entire process where we know there are intermediaries involved. The government was looking at the 2013 Act, revising it. There's a still not very concrete decision on what would be the role or who should be monitoring that. I think from the government side, there's a suggestion or a push that they're registered under BIRA or some kind of monitoring, overseeing by the recruiting agencies. Whereas there's the other view that no, this should be done by the government. So I'll leave it at that for the time being as the context. So we're looking at fair recruitment, and of course, from your side, the discussion will be on. So the mode or the agenda, the way it's set forward, is that we have colleagues. There's an open discussion, but before that, there's a technical paper from Mr. Dr. Ananarahan.
What are the unfairness in recruitment? First of all, charging recruitment fees to workers. I'll mention some figures down the line that Bangladeshi migrant workers pay more to migrate and receive less in terms of income. Average cost for a Bangladeshi migrant is 416,789. This is from the data from Labor Migration Survey 2020, done by Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics. Average income of Bangladeshi migrant worker, 23,093 taka. Meaning that to recover just the cost for migration would take 17.6 months. And this is the highest in the world.
If the ILO asks me even for my 1 hour's wage to work with the ILO, I'll say thank you, but no thank you. If I don't have to pay that, why should a migrant worker then pay 17.5 months of wages for a job that the employer has demanded?
How much actually spend as a nation or the total number of job seekers? In the last year, 617,209 workers migrated from Bangladesh, despite COVID-19 and other, precarious situations. And how much the workers spent together? 257.3 billion taka was spent to go abroad only last year. How much actually paid in dollar and how much paid in taka, and whether there is case of money laundering also. I'd like to show another slide in terms of cost. This is from ILO handbook. I have taken this. This slide shows that the cost of migration from different countries. From the origin country and then destination country. For example, Saudi Arabia, the destination country on the left. The cost of migration from Pakistan is $4,300. From Ethiopia, 991. Then for Qatar, from India, it is 1,140. From Philippines, 480. From Nepal, 1,054. But for Bangladesh, 3,136. It's almost 9 times of the Philippines and 3 times of Nepal. So low cost from all other South Asian countries, India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, it's for Kuwait. But why it is high for Bangladesh? I talked to a few leaders of the recruiters, private recruiters, and the point was that the cost of processing is very high. So we need to hear from them what are the costs which is high, that we need to really identify, and how we can really reduce that cost. So the argument is that we have to pay more, that's why it is high. So what are the costs? So I tried to identify again. I will not read out, like document cost, like passport, visa, residency permit, security related cost, like medical checkup, security clearance, skills related cost, like training, language test and so on, transportation cost, recruitment service fees, pre-departure cost and other costs.
আমি একটা এয়ার টিকিট ক্রয় করলাম 1,14,000 টাকা। যখন আমার পার্শ্ববর্তী দেশ, আপনারা ইন্ডিয়া, নেপাল, শ্রীলঙ্কার উদাহরণ দিলেন, তো তারা তো এই টিকিটটা 20 থেকে 30 হাজার টাকায় ক্রয় করে। তা কিভাবে ক্রয় করে? এটা তো আমরা বহুবার আমরা বাংলাদেশের রিক্রুটিং এজেন্সির পক্ষ থেকে জানিয়েছি। আজকে দেখেন মেডিকেল আমাদের দেশে 10,000 টাকা প্লাস লাগে, আর অন্য দেশে 1,000 টাকা 1500 টাকায় হয়।
Why you cannot buy a plane for them? Because government doesn't have any budget for that, no? Government giving the budget for revenue and for development work, not welfare. Welfare fully run by the migrant workers' money. In the next budget, I will say you should ask for the money.
I've been to Nepal. I have seen that they have a strong voice on negotiation. They initially they said that our workers will not pay a single money. You have to pay. The employers have to pay, which we are talking about, zero cost for employers.
7ই ফেব্রুয়ারিতে এগ্রিমেন্ট সাইন করবার কথা ছিল মালয়েশিয়ার সাথে। ইন্দোনেশিয়ার মন্ত্রী বলেছে আমি কোনো সাইন করব না। কেন? আমার কর্মীর বেতন হতে হবে 1500 রিঙ্গিট, আমার কর্মীর থাকা খাওয়ার ব্যবস্থা ভালো হতে হবে, না হলে এই অনেকগুলো দাবি তারা দিয়েছে এবং সাইন করেনি, রিফিউজ করেছে, এখনো সাইন করেনি। আমরা কি দেখেছি গত 4 দিন আগে মালয়েশিয়ান প্রধানমন্ত্রী সেদিন ডিক্লার করে দিয়েছেন মে মাসের 1 তারিখ থেকে মিনিমাম ওয়েজেস উইল বি 1500। তাহলে একজন ইন্দোনেশিয়ান মন্ত্রী তার ডিমান্ড চাহিদা অনুযায়ী, যেহেতু উনি লোক সাপ্লাই করবেন না, সেই কারণে মালয়েশিয়া সেটি মানতে বাধ্য হলো। তাহলে আমরা কেন ওই জায়গাটি যেতে পারছি না?
সবাই সবকিছু জানে কোথায় টাকাটা খরচ হয়, but who will be the actor to remove the jungle, who will remove the waste from the migrant sectors? First actor is recruiting agency who pay the money to the receiving entity. ভিসা কিনে আনতে যিনি টাকা দেন, হি ইজ দ্য ফার্স্ট অ্যাক্টর। দেন কেন আনডিউ কম্পিটিশন ইন বাংলাদেশ? অন্যরা দেয় না ভিসা কিনে আনতে, আমরা টাকাটা আগে দিয়ে আসি। 4 লাখ টাকা খরচ হলে 2 লাখ টাকা আগেই দিয়ে আসি। দিস ইজ হিডেন মানি, দিস ইজ অলসো মানি লন্ডারিং। নো চেকার ডকুমেন্ট ইন বাংলাদেশ। কত টাকা চলে যায় এটা আমরা জানি না। তো 50% যদি অফ হয়ে যেত, তাহলে আমার হয়ে যেত 2 লাখ টাকা। দেন 2 লাখ টাকার থেকে যে 1 লাখ টাকা এয়ার ফেয়ার, এটা যদি 50,000 হয়ে যেত, তাহলে হয়ে যেত 1.5 লাখ টাকা। তাহলে আনহেলদি এই 2.5 লাখ টাকা যদি কমে যেত, তাহলে আমরা এশিয়ার মধ্যে খুব ভালো পজিশনে থাকতাম। কতদিন যাবত আমরা বলছি যে এয়ার ফেয়ার অ্যাজ পার ডিস্টেন্স হবে, মাইলেজে হবে, অথবা নিয়ারেস্ট কান্ট্রি, নেইবারিং কান্ট্রির মতো হবে, কিন্তু কেউ তো শুনছে না।